Have you ever found yourself sitting alone, maybe late at night or during a quiet morning commute, when a heavy question settles in your mind? You look at your life, the job you go to, the relationships you nurture, the path you're on, and you whisper to yourself, "Is this it? Is this really what I want?" It's a moment that can feel, honestly, pretty unsettling, a sudden fog rolling in on a clear day. You might feel a sense of being stuck, as if you're an actor in a play, reading lines somebody else wrote for you. But this feeling isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. In fact, it's a sign that something deep inside is waking up. It's the beginning of an incredibly important conversation with yourself. This crossroads of uncertainty is a universal human experience. We all reach points where the map we've been following suddenly seems outdated or foreign. The goals we once chased with passion might now feel empty, and the routines that gave us comfort now feel like cages. It's easy to push these thoughts away, to turn up the volume on distractions and pretend we didn't hear the question. But I want to invite you to do the opposite. Lean into that feeling. Listen to what it's trying to tell you. This moment of questioning is not a crisis. It is an opportunity. It is your soul asking for a new direction, for a deeper connection to your purpose. Think of it like a journey. You've been walking a well-trodden path for a long time, but now you've arrived at a clearing you didn't expect. There are no signs, no arrows pointing the way forward. It's just you and the vast, open space of possibility. This can be scary because with no signs, you have to be the one to choose the next step. But it is also incredibly powerful. This is the moment you stop simply following and start actively creating your own path. This feeling of being lost is actually the first step toward finding a more authentic version of yourself, a self that is aligned with your true values and deepest desires. So, if you are in that space right now, take a deep breath. Know that you are not alone in this feeling. Many of the most fulfilled and purposeful people I have ever met started their journey from this exact place of profound uncertainty. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't have a magical map appear out of thin air. What they had was the courage to stand in the quiet discomfort of the unknown and ask the hard questions. They chose to see this moment not as an end, but as a true beginning, a chance to redefine success, happiness, and meaning on their own terms. This feeling of being adrift in a sea of questions is where a powerful philosophy called existentialism can become a guiding light. Now, don't let the big word intimidate you. At its core, existentialism is a simple and liberating idea. It suggests that self-awareness, or the ability to recognize and understand your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, is crucial for personal growth. It says we start to notice patterns in our thoughts and actions that we might not have noticed before when we develop self-awareness. We are born first, and then, through our choices, our actions, and our beliefs, we spend our entire lives creating who we are and what our lives stand for. You are the artist, and your life is your canvas. Think about how freeing that is. If there is no single right way to live, then you cannot get it wrong. Society, family, and culture might try to hand you a script, telling you what success should look like or what path you ought to follow. But existentialism gently reminds you that you have the ultimate freedom to accept or reject that script. You are responsible for your own life. This responsibility might sound heavy, but it is actually the source of all your power. It means that no matter what has happened in your past, you have the ability, in this very moment, to choose a different thought, a different action, a different future. Let's bring this into our daily lives. Imagine you are unhappy in your job. An existentialist perspective wouldn't just focus on blaming your boss or the company. It would encourage you to look inward and ask, what choices am I making every day that keep me here? What values of mine are not being honored in this role? What small step can I take today to move toward work that feels more aligned with my purpose? It shifts the focus from external blame to internal empowerment. You are not a passive victim of your circumstances. You are an active creator of your experience. This is the ultimate freedom. So when you feel that sense of emptiness or being lost, it's what existentialists might call the void. But instead of a scary, dark place, see it as a space of pure potential. It's a blank slate. It's the silence between musical notes that makes the melody beautiful. This void is not something to be feared or filled with distractions. It is something to be embraced. It's the space you need to finally hear your own voice, to decide what colors you want to paint on your canvas, and to begin the beautiful, lifelong process of defining your own existence. To use this incredible freedom that existentialism talks about, we need a crucial tool: self-awareness. If you are the artist of your life, then self-awareness is the mirror you look into to truly see yourself, the artist. It's about understanding your own thoughts, feelings, and patterns without judgment. Why do you react the way you do in certain situations? What are the deep-seated beliefs that drive your decisions? What are your unique strengths, and what are the areas where you need to grow? Without this clarity, we often live on autopilot, repeating the same cycles and wondering why we feel so stuck. Self-awareness is the bridge between feeling lost and finding your purpose. It's the act of turning your attention inward. For many of us, our focus is almost always external. We are worried about what others think of us, what is happening on social media, or what the next item on our to-do list is. We rarely take the time to simply sit and be with ourselves. Building self-awareness is like building a muscle. It requires consistent practice. It starts with paying attention to the small things: the tension in your shoulders when you're stressed, the feeling of joy when you see a sunset, the inner voice that criticizes you. Think of it this way: you wouldn't try to navigate a new city without a map of where you currently are. Self-awareness is that map of your inner world. It shows you the landscape of your mind and heart. When you know your own patterns, you can start to intentionally change them. For example, if you become aware that you always say yes to please others, even when it drains you, you can then consciously practice saying no to protect your energy. This isn't about selfishness, it's about self-respect. True, lasting change doesn't come from just wanting it. It comes from understanding yourself well enough to make it happen. This journey into self-awareness is not about finding flaws to fix. It's about discovering who you are with compassion and curiosity. It's about recognizing that your feelings are valid, your thoughts are just thoughts, and you have the power to choose how you respond to them. When you can look at yourself honestly in that inner mirror, you begin to see the person you are meant to become. You start to untangle yourself from the expectations of others and connect with your authentic self. This is where your true purpose begins to reveal itself, not as a lightning bolt from the sky, but as a quiet whisper from within. So, how do we begin this journey? How do we take these big ideas of freedom and self-awareness and turn them into real, tangible actions? The answer is simple. We start small. Crafting a life of meaning is not a single grand event. It's a series of small, intentional choices you make every single day. It begins with creating space for reflection. This could be just 5 minutes of journaling each morning. Write down what you're grateful for, what's on your mind, or what you hope for the day ahead. This simple act connects you to your inner world and helps you start your day with intention instead of reaction. Next, get curious about your values. What truly matters to you deep down? Is it kindness, creativity, adventure, community, or security? Make a list of your top 5 values. Then look at your life and ask, how am I living these values each day? If you value creativity but haven't made any art in years, maybe the next step is to buy a sketchbook. If you value community but feel isolated, maybe the next step is to join a local club or volunteer. Aligning your daily actions with your core values is the most powerful way to build a sense of purpose and fulfillment. It makes even the smallest tasks feel meaningful. Another practical step is to embrace new experiences. Often we feel stuck because our world has become too small and predictable. Purpose is rarely found sitting on the couch. It's discovered out in the world through trying new things, meeting new people, and stepping outside your comfort zone. Take a class in something you know nothing about. Travel to a place you've never been, even if it's just a nearby town. Have a conversation with someone whose life is completely different from yours. Each new experience is a piece of data that helps you understand yourself and the world better, revealing hidden passions and strengths you never knew you had. Remember, this journey of self-discovery is not a race to a finish line. There will be days when you feel clear and purposeful, and days when you feel lost all over again. That's okay. That is part of the process. The goal is not to arrive at a final destination called fulfillment, but to fall in love with the journey itself. Embrace the questions. Celebrate the small steps. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. You are the author of your story, and every day is a new page. You have the power, right now, to pick up the pen and write a beautiful, meaningful, and authentic next chapter.